Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be part 3, the final portion of the ShipRocked interview of the warning by the guys at Ask for Entertainment, who are the ones that do the ShipRocked events. So this took place about 6 months before they actually got up on the boat, August 29th. It's been a really fascinating interview because they've asked more detailed questions about, say, the recording process. Lately, it's been the rehearsal room, and just a lot of anecdotes having to do with the touring, when that started up for real for the band in 2022, starting with that U.S. tour and then moving into that summer tour. But the first one, of course, being a headlining tour, and a lengthy one for a band that had never done anything quite like that before. So it's been really interesting hearing them talk about this. So I look forward to picking it up here, where they are just getting into talking about the rehearsal space and how that came to be. About 42 minutes in, we got about 22 minutes left, so I look forward to checking this out. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, just know I'm always looking at non-music content that features bands that are touring today, and sometimes I do some interviews. If that interests you, please subscribe so you won't miss anything, all right? Let's go ahead and pick up where we left off.
I got to ask this question then. So then, as you guys are traversing through your musical journey in this rehearsal space, okay, let me back pedal here. Whose idea was it to record the first cover of Enter Sandman? You guys did. Not the most recent version, but the first version.
Okay.
No, not probably. My dad's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
we don't come from a musical family.
Not
My
at all.
parents don't play any instruments. We don't have a history of any family member being a musician. But
She's correct about that. I do want to mention, though, because some have expressed some interest in this, Luis actually did have a studio, and he was an engineer. And he actually engineered an album that did extremely well in Mexico. I don't think any of the girls had been born yet. Danny, of course, being born in January of 2020. In January of 2000. So this was all before the three girls had come along. But he did have that in the music industry from way back then. And I think that's how he had some friends that would come over that were somewhat famous, who then went on to help train the girls in music.
our parents love music. They love it. So we grew up in like a very music-loving environment.
You're like watching concerts on TV.
So when we
and
started
that.
playing, it was just like everyone doing their own thing individually. We never thought about being a band. It was just like, oh,
We
I
just
like this
it.
and you like that, and that's okay. And when I started playing the bass, we started playing together, just for like, oh, we
For
can play
fun.
together.
Let's
This is
do
fun. And then we were like, oh, we should learn the same song, because we would do different covers, like just to learn
By
the
ourselves.
instrument, like just to like gain experience.
Right.
And then we learned Enter Sandman. And honestly, I don't know the thought process that my dad went through. He was just like, let's record it. But the thing here was like, we didn't have experience in recording covers, and it was like
Recording
I had
audio
recorded,
or
like,
anything.
two.
Anything,
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah,
But
no.
it was, we were really like, my dad was like, okay, but it's like it has to be one take.
A one-shot thing.
Like,
because we're
not
no
we
editing.
can't
like,
edit. Like, we don't know how to do any of that.
Right.
It has to be one shot. So what you see in that video, like, it was
I was like,
we
take
played-
20.
yeah, we played it so many times. I remember whenever Danny was nearing up that solo, Alan and I would just like flinch, like, please play.
I can't play this again.
Yes. If someone messed up, it was like,
No.
Oh,
I'm
no.
gonna piss.
Got to start over. Great. Oh.
I remember like just being so satisfied when we saw it. Like my dad put it together and he uploaded it, and we really didn't expect anything out of it. It was just like, put it in the internet,
Sure.
Yeah.
and then our career started.
Well, and that's healthy too, because it's like, hey, we do this. Period. This is what we do. Oh, we recorded it, we video. Yeah, this is what we do. It's not like, okay, let's get out and promote this, and here we go. The game plan is coming together. This is our first step. It's like, it's so organic, and that's the way it should be. It's just like a love of music and
No
people
doubt.
just doing things. Like I always say, like, even in my life and my career, it's like, because I have some good friends that and people that I love that just don't do anything. Like, I like to do stuff. Like, I'm a doer. Like, hey, let's do this. Like, let's do that. And that's healthy, I think. And that's where it seems like that's where the musical foundation was laid for y'all. It's just like, hey, we're going to do this. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, now we're doing. And when you do, it leads to other things to do.
Okay, yeah.
Doing nothing leads very much to nothing. So that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that it started that way. It's so cool, and it's fascinating.
Profound and true. If you want to make inroads, you have to do something to, make the inroad. Got to get the tools at the ready and go. Anyway, you get the idea.
It's me that you didn't have musical, not that they're not musical, but like parents that played instruments and were like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to play the dobro or whatever, right? It's like it's super weird to me.
Dulcimer.
I didn't know that until you just said that. It's really interesting to me because it's like, it even makes the case for the true organic part of how y'all started even more pronounced to me. It's like it's super cool.
Everyone gets really weirded out when we say like, well, no, my mom's a dentist. Like we don't even.
Well, you all do have fantastic teeth.
There you go.
I mean, look, if everything falls apart, you'll always have your teeth.
Gum health.
Reminds me of the Billie Eilish story, with her covering her brother's song, putting it on SoundCloud, and then no one knew what that was going to be about either. It's a little bit different because there's a brother situation there, and it wasn't, but like the fact that it just is what it just is what it is, and it ended up being exactly what it needed to be without it was the magic of divine intervention or whatever you want to call it. It's cool. And then look, it went on to do you re-recorded it. Now it's in video games and in a Netflix series, and there's a feature on it, and man, and now Metallica knows who the fuck you are. That's pretty awesome. You're opening up for Guns N' Roses, Foo Fighters, all this crazy stuff over the idea of your father simply just saying, all right, again,
play this Metallica.
We just have, this is what we have to make it work. And that's the beauty of, I guess, like the art of creating and being creative and being in a band with other people,
Even before they hopefully respond here. He's right in that there's nothing better to focus you on a task than to have to get it right all at once. A band doing the entire song all in the same take, it does something to you. It really makes you step up. And it also teaches you that there are big rewards to doing that.
The collaborative spirit in general, and your father was just,
I am just like,
I was gonna cry.
Okay, so like, I feel like we get so caught up in like what we're doing right now, what we're doing next year, what we're already doing for the next year.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you just said a lot of things that have happened in our careers.
Right.
And like, it's like, oh my God, all of that happened at one point. And it happened because we did this thing before that and that thing before that.
Yeah. Yep.
Seeing like how like amazing our careers have been and these amazing opportunities that we've had. And like we've had like the work ethic and the discipline to like take advantage of them, sure. But like so many things that have just been stars aligning and chances of like fate. And it's so insane. Just like the first thing, our parents not being musicians and the three of us just liking
powers for Klimt.
Even right now, like me personally, I've had such a hectic work day that it feels so nice as well to just kind of like sit down and just enjoy everything that has been,
Mm-hmm.
And guys, thank you so much.
Yes, it's been
Excellent.
That's awesome. Well, I will say we are going to put career milestone. My job is to make sure you have another career milestone, and that would be performing on ShipRocked in front of.
Okay, that was a sleight of hand, but it was a good one. I liked it. Yes, your next milestone will be to be on our boat. Of course. Truly, I mean, it was something else to try, and now they've had gigs on the water. So there you go.
Life, they will follow you till the end of your career. I promise, and that's a promise I can make for sure. And Chad knows this. They will follow you to the ends. Like every show that you play after ShipRocked, I mean, that's a little bit bold, but just about every show you play after ShipRocked, there will be a guest there that will say, "I saw you on ShipRocked." And
they probably don't even say anything, Al. You'll see them in the crowd.
I think that actually was true for a little while after the boat, but I don't know if it's still true. I guess we're going to have to hear from people that were actually on the boat. How many of you found out about the morning on the boat and have been following them ever since? I would love to hear from you guys. Sailing takes them away to where they're rocking.
You'll see them in the
Remember that
crowd.
person from the ship.
Yeah, they'll have their shirt. They'll have their shirt. They'll have a banner. They'll meet you in the meet and greet. And they're like, I saw you on ShipRocked. And you're going to go, why the hell? ShipRocked is everywhere. I thought that was just on a boat in the ocean. But it's really super fascinating. I'm so excited to plug y'all in with our guest community. And they're just a great bunch of people. And they're really high protein. Like they really love music. It's honestly, it's not a cheap vacation, right? It's an expensive, it's an expensive undertaking. You got flights, you got hotels, and it costs a lot for us to buy a cruise ship for 6 days, right? So the people that are there are really there for their friends and for the music. And you guys, I can't wait for you guys to experience that. I have a good feeling it's going to be one of your career highs to that moment anyway. So I'm excited.
You know, this thing that you're talking about, like the fans, like it's gonna sound like I made it up, but we've had like other shows, like we've played at festivals that we have meet and greets after, and they're like, I just saw you today, but I'm gonna see you in ShipRocked. I saw that you were on the head, like on the, and I wanted to out, and it's like,
it's like we'll see you there.
Like we've heard that so many times, like, oh, we'll see you in ShipRocked, and we're like, okay,
I guess we're gonna do it, And now the other fun part is,
see, now Pau plays ball there, and that's to her credit, that's really good. Now I'm really curious. How big a player is this really? I think that we're hearing a lot of marketing, and it's the responsible thing to do, especially under a circumstance like this. But I'm a little skeptical. Can somebody help shed a little light on just how much magnitude it brings a career? You know, okay, it was early 2024 when they did this. What type of impact do you think that it had?
and I can let our guests know now. This will be a little bit of a pre-announcement. Is that y'all, from what I understand, you're gonna be good to play in the stowaways as well, right?
Yes.
Highway to Hell.
Okay, because that's a whole totally other awesome thing that'll happen. Chad is integrally involved. That word.
That was it.
Yeah, he's intergalactically involved with putting everything together and the song selection and making sure everything runs smoothly. And he'll come out and sing a couple songs too, I hope. So we'll all be battling that battle together, and that'll be super fun too. The way that whole thing comes around is one of the things our guests like the most. So have y'all in that mix on that. That's a big announcement just now for all our guests who are going to be listening. The warnings
We're
going to be participating in the stowaways. So
Al also will be there along the way. You know, we get to tag team that together, and to capstone a little bit, maybe of what he just said. Amongst everything else, the camaraderie within that community is also a separate version of the camaraderie that you would see with the fan base. So now you're in a room with other musicians, peers, people you don't know, people that you might be a little bit like, you know, shaky knees around, and they will pick you up. They will show you the ways, you know, if there's anything you can model the ship after is your experience.
Okay, it's not that I don't appreciate that they're doing this interview, but I just have to point out that we seem to have gotten into the mode of talking about the ship and why the ship is so important and the marketing of the ship ride. And I get that. They're promoters. They've got a cruise ship now to fill up. How many people were actually on the boat? Those of you that were on the boat, I need to hear from you. I'd really love to hear your perspective on all this. And also let me know if you've gone on more than one ShipRocked cruise.
Experience in your mind is your experience with Hailstorm, maybe, just simply because there is, a beacon there, and they're happy to guide you to the, wherever you need to go. So hopefully that's.
Not to mention give you a guitar.
On a very, very long intergalactic
we did
of life.
We did, and we just had a special moment, didn't we, Chad?
The Beastie Boys reference.
I am nearly weeping.
And then here comes.
So here's
those tears again.
We're nearing the end of our hour with us. I could do this for another 2, but we like to do a little thing. It's a little nautical pun we like to have. We like to walk the plank. So this is a little bit of a rapid fire thing. You'll figure it out as we go. But you're going to walk the plank with us right now, and you didn't even volunteer for this. But I have a question for each one of you I would like to ask. What was the last thing that made you cry?
Ooh, you got this.
I cried yesterday. Okay, I cried 2 times yesterday. It was a very lovely sunset, and I was like, I'm back home, and I started crying. And the second one was that I just saw this series called The Midnight Gospel. I have so much in my life, like I did with that series. It was, watch it. It's good. I cried.
Okay.
It's like I don't remember, but like my allergies to cats.
Ollie has the best responses to questions that you will not expect. She does that, I think, pretty consistently. Tell me if I'm wrong there, but yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Oh my, your allergies. Pau's talking about how this was a life-changing series she saw the night before and her allergies. Okay, all right. Can't wait to hear what Danny has to say.
And we have
Listen,
cats.
it's just honesty, man. It's just you could have made something up, but you didn't. You just went with it. I love it.
Oh, and the last time I cried, actually, probably on stage. In the last tour, I'm gonna be super honest. I was feeling super low on energy because I got sick.
Oh.
So my voice wasn't at its best. I had a tiny fever before going on stage, and
It was a fever.
It was a fever, yeah. Yes, but like I got it down before the show a little bit, and I was crying really hard because it really frustrates me when I can't give my best, and I know
that always
it's
pretty bad.
horrible.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Why does this not surprise me? I mean, it seems to me that we have seen Danny cry a few times on stage. I think she kind of did it at the Reverb in Reading, May 7, 2022. I think she also, I know she did it at Pier 17. There have been other instances. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Of course, we just saw her get sick at the end of the Europe tour, and yet they came out strong at the end of that one with the Nosa Live show, and we're going to be looking at some of those segments over on the other channel sometime soon, probably after these new shows are finished over in Asia. So that's interesting that she would say that. It does feel like that, like Danny will cry on stage. They're all crying under somewhat different circumstances with different triggers. It's kind of interesting there.
That's like bigger than stage fright, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like stage fright's one thing. We're like, I'm going to screw up a song. Well, we've already been over that. You're going to screw up a song. But then having that thing that you're not able to give 100%, God, what a letdown. What a bummer. Yeah.
It's a crappy
So what's the honest way that you've accidentally hurt yourself?
Wait,
That's my question, by the way.
Oh my.
wait.
All three.
All three. Whoever can start.
I was just like,
accidentally hurt myself.
I know this one for me.
Sometimes, okay. When we're doing sound check, and sometimes I have my glasses on, and I don't calculate how low they are on my nose, and I put the glasses against like my face. It hurts pretty bad. That's usually
The stick in the face? Is that what she's saying?
For me,
or she do that?
either one, getting into my bunk in the bandwagon because it's the height.
Oh gosh.
It's just I have to like freaking climb over like Spider-Man into it, or I actually have really flexible limbs. I've been trying to work on that, but I once dislocated my shoulder because I was dancing. I was just like, why?
That's not fair.
This thing, and just pop, and you're like, oh.
Oh, so no Travolta moves.
I'm training a lot to make my muscles stronger for
so
that.
you can now dance.
Now I
dance
can-
your little heart out. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Danny does have some issues. Yeah, flexible joints is actually an issue. Like in her case, there's such a thing as too flexible. And as we know, she also has back issues from time to time. These are just things she has to contend with.
Also on stage, I move around a lot, and I have very weak knees.
Oh.
And sometimes I just take a step, and I'm just like, oh, my knee.
Oh,
And
no.
I have a physical reaction to how my knee hurts. And then I'm just like, for the rest of the show, I'm like, oh, my knee hurts.
Oh.
I always, or like something.
Do you think that anyone?
Are squats good for that? I have heard that if you just get into a squatting position and sit there, flat-footed, right off the ground, and you do that for a bit every day, that's good for your knees eventually, because, you have to get up eventually, and that's where the tricky part is. But if you do that all the time, it's good on your knees. Can anybody else confirm or deny that, or have other tricks for how to strengthen up your knees so that you don't have a situation like what Ali just described? If you've got the advice, leave it below.
I've seen you. Do you like move, like be, in the crowd, somebody's watching you play, and you're just like, Do you think that?
No, it looks like a rock and roll face, though. That's the good part about it.
Yeah, I feel like people might notice because, like, I do sometimes, like, oh my knee, and
maybe we'll have to ask.
We'll have to ask.
Yes. Okay, so the last we're gonna take a final walk down the plank together. But before I ask this last question, I do want to point out, Chad, I want to answer your question. I tore my my MCL in my knee singing karaoke. So there's
that's amazing.
Just want to let the people know,
Yes. What song?
Sounds like it might be a boost.
What song?
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna make it. This is what makes it. I had the microphone wrapped around my arm like this, like like Pantera style, like this, and I was singing "It's Your Love" by Faith Hill and Tim McGraw.
Oh no!
See, I was going to say "Want to Be Starting Something" by Michael Jackson, but okay, apparently not. And I also want to know if there was booze involved in that accident, because karaoke sometimes, not always, but inquiring minds want to know.
Oh, did you have a wide stance too?
I had the widest.
I know. I could see it. I could see the widest.
As a matter of fact, the witnesses said
I'm looking at the reactions.
No. Well, that explains it.
Pain.
So I got done, and I got done with my amazing performance, of course. And I came off the stage, and I'm like, here's what I said. I was like, my knee feels kind of squishy.
Yeah.
And because your ligament snapped inside your knee. But I was I was partying so much that I didn't feel anything. And then 4 o'clock in the morning,
what did I just say? What did I tell you? All right, I'm just saying.
When everything wore off, that's when I enjoyed it. That's when I enjoyed it the most. Was that feeling right there? The ping of regret was never pingier.
Ouch.
I actually had the same thing, not karaoke, but that same exact part of my body. It was also the worst, accidental, weirdest way I've ever been hurt too. I got literally body slammed while wearing a ice cream costume in a music video that we shot by the girl who was playing a vampire in the music video. And she was like a professional stunt person. And she's on TV and one of those like NCIS shows. And she picked me up and flung me. And when I was picked up, not even when I hit the ground, but when she picked me up, for some reason, my foot was planted in a weird way and it turned on the ground and my knee popped and I wasn't able to walk off the set or anything. For
a moment there, I was envisioning that guy, was it Montana, who got lifted by the bison recently. You must have seen him. Kind of looked like a grandpa. I think he actually broke a bone, but it was quite a spectacular launching.
The day was done. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm wearing an ice cream. I'm wearing literally one of those big Halloween ice cream thing, and holding a plunger. Actually, I was holding a plunger in my hand in the scene in the music video. I still to this day cannot use my knee in any pivoting situation.
Ouch!
So, like, if someone's gonna scare me and chase me, and I have to pivot, you got me. Done.
A high art injury.
Okay, so we've asked this question. We've actually asked this question before of a guest in the past, but I want to ask it. I wanted to ask it again this week because the answer is going to be interesting because it might be the same answer, but with siblings, it might be the same answer. If you could have a conversation with a deceased relative, who would you choose and why?
Ay, Jesus.
We're very fortunate, and we don't.
Like most of the family members that I've ever known in my life
are still alive.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what?
Okay, maybe not family member then.
Just
like somebody that has.
I don't know, someone in your life that moved you that is no longer there.
Oh.
They're all young though. I don't know.
God, it's wonderful to be that young and have to think about it, isn't it, Chad?
Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Everybody's alive.
Soak it up. Very morose.
Yeah, what are you asking dead questions for?
I feel like I didn't get to know her a lot, but
hey, my mother's grandmother. Yeah. We such beautiful things about her.
Yes.
And we just never got to meet her. That would be lovely.
That would be lovely.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. What might have happened was the three of you would have picked the same one. So that's interesting. Super cool.
It's just me, but I would have picked my own great-grandfather, my father's grandfather. He sounded like a very interesting person. I would have liked to get to know him better. I do remember him from when I was a very young child.
Well, the night has come to the end. Go ahead, Chad.
One quick thing. So we want to ask the next guest that we have a question that you're asking. They won't know who asked it until after they've answered it. So if you got a question, and whoever that is will propose the question as if it was a guest from last week. We can't tell you who it is. Answer the question, then we'll tell.
I know. Okay.
Yeah,
it has to be.
And you don't even know who the next guest is. So this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
Exactly.
Okay, wait. We'll review in Spanish.
What is it?
Quiero preguntar qué es lo más asqueroso que han tenido que comer de que en de
Open
gira
Google Translate.
Ajá, de que la cosa más de que triste, así miserable, porque tipo estás de gira y no tienes tiempo. Go ahead. That's
okay, cool. All right, we have no idea who the next guest is gonna be, but while on tour, what's like the most like gruesome thing that they've had to eat because there's like nothing near anywhere? It's just like, what's that meal?
Like the saddest, most miserable looking meal that you've ever had on tour.
There's
that made
nothing
you feel bad when you had.
Okay, but now that
it
is amazing. But now that you've asked it, we have to do a little extendo version of the podcast, and you tell us yours because that's only fair.
All right.
Before they start, mine chicken fried steak in Amarillo, Texas, midnight on the highway.
I'm trying to think. Like we've been in some sad things on tour.
Yeah.
I feel like, this is kind of mean, but we were in a festival in the Czech Republic. Was it Republic?
It was.
And they had some really bad mashed potatoes, but everything else was
very good.
Like no, it was things I just wouldn't eat.
Yeah,
so I just ate like a sad little plate of really bad mashed potatoes, and that.
I ate a plate of rice. As well.
Mine is also in Europe. It was a Tesco meal.
Yeah. They're not the same.
I love that you asked that question because you remember that and you just hated it.
I was just like, what is this, man? I was like, yeah.
Gas station dinner, right? And you pull up to that being like, oh, this is gonna slap. Europe has such good food, bangers and mash, and you walk into that thing, you're like, what the fuck is this stuff in here?
Well, the other thing is too, like
food,
like mash.
It's a UK thing.
Potatoes, as an Irish guy, like how can you screw that up? Honestly, like how do you screw that up?
Easy.
They were really watery.
Okay, so they were instant. They weren't even potatoes. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
I could see it. I could see what the like the fucking thing that it's in the line. You're holding your plate and scooping it on there, and you're like, oh no, yeah.
Prison food.
Man, throw it away. There's somebody behind me, and they're gonna see me do that. Yeah.
Well, it's been awesome getting to know y'all a little bit. Thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it.
Seriously.
And safe travels and good luck and everything moving forward. We're definitely going to keep an eye out for you. All of our guests will be honed in on you now. So I'm glad we got a chance for them to get to know you a little bit before they see you play and meet you in person on the ship.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll see you guys very, very soon.
Thank you so much for your time. This was a blast, and we'll see you soon. Oh my God, yes.
Oh yeah, I love
it. Okay, interesting, offbeat. This third part may have been the least important part, but it was still interesting. There were some interesting questions, some good back and forth on that, and there were some cool insights in there. You know, we learned things that we didn't know before about the band and about some of their processes and about what they went through and all of those things. There was, like I say, I think there was less of that in this particular section of the interview than the rest of it, but still pretty interesting. So I'm looking up Tesco meals. It seems to be a UK thing. So look it up yourself if you're interested. Yeah, it's basically just, meals in a box. You never know what quality it is, I suppose. I don't know anything about Tesco, so I'm not going to make a recommendation or say like I know anything about it. So let me know what you thought of this particular portion of the interview or the whole thing if you've watched the whole thing with me. If you haven't, I strongly recommend go back and check out the other two sections as well, the first two parts. They really did have a lot of insightful information in them. They got the sisters to answer some questions that maybe they don't get very often. It was cool in that way. At some point, we will look at some of the ShipRocked gigs, but for the time being, this will do. Give me your thoughts on this interview. If you saw it back in the day, let me know if it moved the needle for you to actually go on the boat, or if you first encountered them on the boat, or anything like that. I'd be interested in hearing from people who actually saw it all happen and who were there when, the boat crashed into the pier and all of the things, the mishaps that took place as well. But I would just be interested in your experiences. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining me on this today. I will catch you on the next one. Take care, folks.